Chairperson, the issue that we're having is that we haven't properly looked at the document to determine whether, to what extent he can claim his right to a privilege. So provisionally, I would say yes, provided that we get a timeline in which we are informed that the supplementary affidavit needs to be in at a particular time, and then it allows us to look into the document and determine there isn't everything that's privileged that disallows us to hand it over to the commission.
Is there any problem sharing it with the evidence leaders right away?
Chairperson, I have not looked at it in detail. It's a document that immediately after we had engaged, we came down, he handed it over to me, I quickly glanced over it, so I can't answer that question definitively.
Is it a privileged document? Because if it is not, I would not understand why it cannot be shared immediately.
Chairperson, I suppose if you have to ask if it is a privileged document, I do not believe so, because the investigators would have a copy of it as well.
Then it should just be shared with the evidence leaders. So as you look whether there is a basis for claiming privilege, the evidence leaders will be looking at the document for themselves as well.
Noted. Share then on those bases, we should be able to share it.
It will be shared this afternoon still.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Advocate Missy. I think it should, because as things happen in the Commission, documents become available and they are added to the exhibit bundle. So too, regardless of their source, so too shall this one. And this document is important. As a result, I'll have to park the issue I intended to raise in respect of 93. It's important because it would appear, Mr. Matlala, that you have adopted this posture regarding almost all the issues of the persons you've been asked about. If we go then, before I forget, that is the conclusion of the supplementation of his statement. You confirm that that paragraph 94 is the end of your affidavit.
Yes, I confirm.
So then you have given your supplementation. So then,
Ms. Silo,
yes.
I don't want to get ahead of you because it may be that you're still coming there. When I looked at 2.2 of the 10.6 notice read with Schedule 1, according to my reading, item 5, the person who appears as number 5, there's still not answer to the question in 2.2. Because 2.2 said, explain your history and or relationship, direct or indirect, with the listed law enforcement officials in Schedule A. And then when you go to Schedule A, it lists 28 people.
yes.
But on my reading of both affidavits, I thought it was an omission in the first one. And the second one was supposed to supplement. But I don't see in the second one where it deals with the name in item 5, unless I've missed it.
No, Commissioner, you haven't. Mr. Matlala, you understand we referred to Schedule 1 and the Regulation 10.6 notice, correct?
Okay.
We discussed the people listed in that document at page 7. And you will recall that in your original statement, when you, from page 12, you then dealt with, at paragraph 14, you dealt with a cluster of persons, 13 of them, from General Masemola to Major General Temba, about whom you said you will not be able to say anything regarding your relationship with them because they are your co-accused in the Medicare matter.
Okay.
From paragraph 15, you then dealt with some of the remaining persons on that list. You see that?
Yeah.
And there you dealt with Minister Mkunu, Patlane, General Patlane, General Mkwanazi, General Fani, and General Khan. You see that?
Yes, I do.
Now, in your supplementary statement, you then deal, or you purported to deal with the remainder of the persons you had not spoken of. And in this regard, as we looked at your statement, you, at paragraph 71, page 14, you once again deal with Minister Mkunu. You deal with former Minister Bekitele. You deal with, once again, with General Pashane at 15. You once again deal with General Mkwanazi. And you deal, followed by General Fani and General Koza. This is the affidavit we've just looked at. General Khan. It did sound. There has to be an explanation, Chair, somewhere on my papers there must be a causa. I apologize for that, General Khan. So you deal with those at your paragraph 71, starting at page 14 of the affidavit. You see that?
Yes, I do.
Then we went further in your affidavit at page 18 from page 17 from paragraph 89, you deal with Mr. Msibi, the late. You deal with Mr. Van Veek, once again Mr. Mkhotsi, and then you deal with Messrs. Hangwani Maumela and Mr. Suleiman and Suleiman Karim.
Yes, I see that.
Now you confirm, if you go back to your annex Schedule A, that item 5 required you to speak about your relationship with Lieutenant General Shadrach Sibiya. And the question posed by Commissioner Khumalo is that even in your supplementary statement, quote unquote, you have failed once again to deal with your relationship with General Sibiya. You note that?
Yes, I do.
I think then perhaps this might be your opportunity to explain to the commissioners why you elected, notwithstanding that you were given a further opportunity to deal with that relationship in the terms as requested of you.
Oh, firstly, if we can remember, Commissioner, you asked me about, this goes to General Sibiya, but I need to take you back. You asked me about my interactions with General Mkwanazi. What was it that was discussed during the meeting? And I only told you about the Medicare tender and the warrant. So, and I said some of the things I could not talk about them because I wouldn't want to prematurely disclose my defense strategy. Because if you go back, and now I mentioned about General Sibiya, and the very same recordings that I was talking about, his name has been mentioned there. And I said those recordings are under investigation, and I do not know what actually are they investigating me about in those recordings. So I did not say anything about him because I did not want to somehow end up incriminating myself.
I think, Mr. Matlala, the question is, what is your relationship with this person? So it has nothing to do with offenses that are under investigation and the possibility of self-incrimination. You are being asked to explain your history and or relationship. Take Mr. Van Veek, for example. You've set out what your history and relationship is with him. Then you say, because he's a witness in the Medicare matter, you won't say anything further. But in relation to General Sibiya, you don't even say you know him. You don't even say you have a history with him.
Okay.
And that is separate from whatever issues are being investigated and may be the subject of criminal proceedings. So I would expect you to please answer the question, what is your history and relationship with General Sibiya? And then at a stage where you need to assert your privilege, you may do so. But I cannot accept that you are not even able to say, I know the person.
I understand, Commissioner. So I will say I know him because of at some point I went to his office to make a complaint about the occupation of the lease agreement that I had with Public Works. So that is the first time that I got to know of him.
The what of the list?
The lease agreement, I had a lease with Public Works for the hospital that is situated inside SAPS College, which is in Pretoria West. So and then I couldn't occupy that hospital. So that was my first time that I went to him to complain about that.
Perhaps to assist you, please let's go to the Regulation 10.6 itself, because specific questions are posted there in respect of each individual that is listed in Schedule A. So if you could consider all the questions set out in subparagraphs 2.2.1 to 2.2.7, can we invite you to answer each one in relation specifically to General Sibiya? That might help Commissioner
Sorry,
Khumalo.
Commissioner, can you please clarify that again?
Please, let's go to the Regulation 10.6 in the same file that contains your statement. The first document should be the Regulation 10.6 notice.
Yes.
And if we go to page 3 of that file, at sub 2.2, it reads, explain your history and or relationship, direct or indirect, with the listed law enforcement officials in Schedule A attached hereto. In your response, you are required to provide the following information, and then it is set out in further subs 1 to 7 at page 4.
May I make this request, Mr. Law? Can you please read all those sub-paragraphs, but instead of individuals or officials, specifically refer in each instance to General Sibiya?
I shall do so, Chair.
And then, so you refer to 2.2.1, we wait for an answer.
I shall do so,
all
Chair.
the way down. Thank you.
Thank you. So, but you have reacquainted yourself with paragraph 2.2. You understand what it requires of you.
Of course.
Yes. So then, back to Commissioner Khumalo's question, we are talking about your relationship now specifically with General Sibiya, and we are going to consider each question in turn and have you speak and respond thereto, but confining your response only to your relationship with General Sibiya. You understand?
I do.
Then the first question would be at paragraph 2.2.1, and then in this context would read, when and how did you meet General Sibiya? If introduction was a third party, please provide the details of such a party.
When I will, 2023 or we still on General Sibiya, right?
Yes, only.
Yeah, yes. It was in January, 2023 or 2024, I don't remember well.
Okay.
And then by how, I already explained how I met him.
No, you haven't. You say you met him when you went to raise the issue of the lease agreement regarding the hospital at the subs college. That doesn't speak to the how. So I'm sure if I tried to go to that office, they won't grant me access. How did you gain access there?
Okay.
How did you secure that meeting to get the opportunity to put your gripe to him? Why did he entertain your visit? That's the kind of detail required. So if you could help us with that.
Yes, it's because I sent him an email.
Okay.
And then requested for a meeting. And his email address was given to me by Sergeant Ngosi.
Yes.
That's, I think that will answer by a third party who made the introduction.
So it was Sergeant Ngosi who made the introductions?
Yes.
Okay. The second then is at 2.2.2, the nature or description of your relationship with General Sibiya.
I do not have a relationship with him.
Maybe not now, but let's say from the date you met him until the date of your arrest. What was the nature of your relationship with him, the description? nature or description of your relationship?
I do not know how to answer this question, Commissioner. You say nature,
Were you friends?
no.
So your engagements with him, what were they? Were you engaging with him as a policeman, as what?
The engagement, hence I said, is something which is under investigation, which I cannot, yes, there are engagements, but it's something that is under investigation, and partly some charges that I'm currently facing. So for me to explain that to you, I have to go deep in and then explain the nature of the charges that I'm currently facing that involves him.
Let me ask you this. Are you not able to say, these are the examples of the engagements I had with him? With these ones, there are no issues. But this one, I know that there's an investigation, so I assert my privilege. I would have a difficulty if you said, even when you met him at his office, to lay charges or to complain about service delivery. You're not going to tell us about it.
But that I've already done it.
Now, you mentioned one incident when you met with him to discuss the public works issue.
Yes.
So that was one.
Yeah, of
And
course.
the question I asked you was, from that moment until the date of your arrest, what was the nature and description of your relationship?
That's something that I cannot go into because it's under investigation. I cannot go into that.
Did you, after you had met him for the first time, did the two of you socialize? Maybe meet at ceremonies, functions?
You mean the first time?
Did after you had met him for the first time? After?
Yes, I met him.
Did you socialize?
Socialize, meaning
meet at
meeting at a social
ceremonies,
gathering.
meet
Yeah.
at ceremonies, functions?
Yes.
Okay. And what sort of gatherings or ceremonies?
It was an engagement party, I think.
Whose engagement?
I don't know whether it's his daughter or his son. I'm not sure about that. But it's between the two. I'm not sure whether it was the daughter or the son.
All right,
Thank
thank you.
you, Commissioners. You say, I will say it is under investigation, and of course I speak subject to your correction. You can't talk about your relationship with General Sibiya because what is under investigation exactly? Is it your relationship with General Sibiya that is under investigation?
Is the contents of what is in the recordings regarding General Sibiya, and also is in relation with the Medicare tender.
So what is under investigation insofar as your relationship with General Sibiya is concerned is regarding the Medicare tender?
Yes, that's correct.
And anything else?
Like the contents that are in the recordings.
What does that mean, Mr. Matlala?
Chairperson, for me to explain that, I have to obviously now speak about what is in the content of those recordings.
You see, what I'm trying to understand is you are asserting a right, right? And the right you seek to assert is the right not to self-incriminate. Now, logic dictates that you can only self-incriminate in a specific offense. Do you understand what I'm saying, at least?
I hear you.
Okay. Now, what you seek to do, you say you can't talk of a relationship generally with this particular person because there is a risk you will incriminate yourself. That then raises the next question, incriminate yourself in what? You must be able to articulate that for the commissioners to accept that, yes, indeed, you do face such a risk. So you're going to have to articulate they're going to have to explain exactly what the offense is.
The offense,
Perhaps let me just explain where Ms. Silo is coming from. There is a decision by the Constitutional Court And sitting here in a legal context, we are bound by those decisions. There is a decision by the Constitutional Court that says if someone is asserting the privilege that you are asserting, what they say must be within clearly defined contours or parameters. They cannot just in general say, I'm asserting my privilege against self-incrimination. So it's on that basis or at that level that Mr. Law is engaging you. Do you follow that? So you cannot just say, because issues relating to Mr. Or General Sibiya somehow relate to the Medicare 24 contract, I'm not willing to answer any question relating to that because I might incriminate myself. That may not fall within what the Constitutional Court prescribed. So it's on that basis that Mr. Law is engaging you. Are you in a position to respond, or do you want Mr. Law to repeat the question?
So saying that it's because of the Medicare tender, it does not justify why I cannot comment on that. So I should explain, is fraud, is money laundering, so I do not know how I should explain that. I don't know.
Okay, let's try it this way. You are facing a criminal charge in respect of Medicare 24 tender.
Yes.
General Sibiya is not.
Yes.
What bearing does your relationship with General Sibiya have on that charge you are facing when he's not your co-accused?
He's not my co-accused, but
Yes.
He's been investigated
By who?
by IDEC,
In what case? For what crime? What offense?
the Medicare tender.
And what is the proof of that when he is already not part of the litany of accused who are now being charged for the Medicare tender? So you have about these 14, 15 people who are already facing criminal charges. Now you say by IDEC, initiated by IDEC, and you say he is still under investigation. On what basis do you so say? Because one would have expected that he formed part of this cohort of accused persons, which he doesn't.
Yes, I do not know why he's not part of the...
Then how do you know he's under investigation?
Because I've been questioned about him, and also I have made a statement under Section 204 when I was being questioned about him.
You were questioned about him in respect of Medicare 24?
Yes.
Okay. I'll accept that. But what does that have to do with the fact that he's your friend? I'm sure you were questioned, and I suggest to you, about certain conduct. His conduct. Was that not the extent of the questioning?
Of course.
So that conduct, you don't need to be friends for that conduct to raise questions and be subjected to investigation. We are not discussing his conduct. We are discussing your relationship with him. Why can't you comment on that without necessarily saying anything about his conduct, which you suggest IDEC is investigating?
Commissioner, I've already commented on that. I don't know whether you want me to say... I told you he was not my friend. He's not my friend. But there is an investigation that is going on. So I do not know what is it that you say I cannot comment on. Unless now, if you want me to explain what is it exactly that IDEC is investigating him for.
No, that's not my question, because you want that to be my question. I'm staying away from that question. I do not accept, just for the record, that he's under investigation, because you haven't even proven that he's under investigation. Your say-so is not enough. It's not your get-out-of-jail card to refuse to answer a question simply because you suggest somebody else, or you suggest that there is an investigation, and there is not a morsel of proof before us that there is such an investigation. It is no answer, but that's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you about your relationship with the man, and that you describe the relationship. Is it a long-term relationship initiated on that particular date when you You went to complain about the hospital, the SAPS hospital. Does it sustain? Has it broken down? Was it very close? Was it a business relationship? I'm giving you. And you see, so far, I haven't even gotten anywhere close to what IDEC is investigating him for. And I'm demonstrating that you can answer that question without reference to what you claim IDEC is investigating him for.
Okay, then which question do you want me to answer?
Please describe in your own words the relationship you have with General Sibiya you had, and if it has since changed, when it changed, and the one you currently maintain with him.
The relationship that I had with him, it was not like a friendship relationship.
Okay. Well, if it was not like something, it has to be like another. What was it like?
Now you're pushing me to say something that I do not know what I will say, because he was not a friend, yes. And for me to go further, is the only way to do that then is to go now into the contents of the investigation, which I do not want to tap in that territory.
Okay, let's...
Was he an acquaintance?
He's someone that I knew.
Thank you, Chair. Perhaps then let's continue. It might become clearer in time for the commissioners, the nature of relationship. Staying then with the regulation 10.6 at 2.2.3, page 3. Proceed then to deal with the next person, and at paragraph, you identify them and deal with their relationship at paragraph 92, or your relationship with them.
Baron Mohoti, I have answered this aspect when I gave evidence.
So in effect, you're saying you've got nothing further to add to what you've already stated?
Yes.
Okay. Then lastly, I think at paragraphs 93 and 94, it's the last person.
Angwani Morgan Maumela and Suleiman Karim. My legal team is in the process of collating evidence in respect of the said persons, which will enable me to move fully with awareness of an explanation of my rights, answer questions about them. I thus reserve my right to supplement this affidavit. I reserve my right to provide the Commission with any further and supplementary sworn statements necessary in these proceedings.
Can I just clarify paragraph 93? You say your legal team, quote, is in the process of collating evidence in respect of these persons being Mr. Hlangwani Morgan Maumela and Mr. Suleiman Karim, which will enable you to more fully, with awareness of and an explanation of your rights, answer questions about them, end of quote. Can you say that in simpler English? What do you mean? I understand that they're in the process of collating evidence in respect of these persons, but I'm not sure I understand the remainder of that sentence. Are you able to assist? What do you mean that the evidence that they are collating will enable you to more fully, with awareness of and an explanation of your rights, answer questions about them?
I think this is a typing error.
Okay. So I'm not that bad. Let's try and correct it. What did you wish to express?
Documents that will support that I do not wish to answer these questions because of self-incrimination. This morning I have managed to get a document that I already supplied to my legal counsel.
I'm not sure I understand. It's a very cryptic answer you've just given, so I'm not sure I understand.
What I'm trying to explain to you is,
Yes.
like the first sentence saying that I'm in the process of collating evidence.
Yes.
So maybe I was supposed to say documents that will prove that I'm a suspect and I'm being under investigation together with Mr. Maumela and also with Suleiman Karim.
Okay. So, okay, I think I understand. So then you say your legal team is in the process actually of collecting documents that will demonstrate and prove that you are a suspect. I take it in some alleged criminal wrongdoing together with, not together, with Mr. Maumela and or Mr. Karim. Is my understanding correct?
With Mr. Maumela, Chairperson, sorry, Commissioner, if you can remember, last week I already touched on the Suleiman matter, and then you asked that I should bring an unsigned, what is it? An unsigned
Loan agreement?
Loan agreement.
Yes.
So this is what I had that loan agreement, but I couldn't just find it. So what I had is only the document in relation with Mr. Maumela.
Okay, now, so you say that those documents will prove you a suspect. A suspect in what? Or which cases?
Suspect in, I think it is money laundering, I think.
And that is in relation to both the persons identified there?
No, only with Maumela.
Or with Mr. Maumela? And when can we expect these documents to be submitted? Because you say that your legal team is in the process of collating them.
They are already in possession of those documents.
Okay. I take it that they're in possession of the documents with a view to share with the Commission.